Hello Reds and welcome to Top of the Cop. Now I've just been prepping a few podcasts with some other LFC channels for this week, and I'm on one tonight, and one of the subjects is Denis Zakaria. Now I know there's been a lot of paper talk of obviously Zakaria joining Liverpool or Liverpool being linked with him, and I just thought obviously with us talking about him tonight on the podcast to do a bit of research, and it seems that he's available in January for £6 to £7 million. Now, I am flabbergasted. I did not know this, I'm not going to lie. But now I do know this. If you've watched my previous video that I uploaded this morning, talking about Liverpool's 4-3-3 formation, changing to 4-2-3-1. And for us to continue playing 4-3-3, it might cost FSG a pretty penny to replace our aging midfield. Because we are at 4-3-3, we haven't got the depth. At 4-2-3-1, we have. Now, obviously, with me doing research on Zakaria and finding out that he's going for 7 million, it would be ridiculous if Liverpool didn't obviously put a bid in for him. It just seems to be a perfect FSG buy. You know, he's young, he's 25, he is proven, obviously at Champions League level. You know, we miss Wijnaldum. He gives us that engine in midfield, and he's got a bit more about him. He's a defensive mid. He gives Fabinho cover. He could play in a 4-3-3, he could play in a 4-2-3-1, he could probably play left centre mid if Fabinho was fit. It makes a whole lot of sense, and you know, he seems to be the type of player that under Klopp would flourish. I do not see how Liverpool don't put a bid in for him, or at least if he's on the on the radar for Liverpool. It just, as I say, makes a whole lot of sense. So what do we know about Zakaria? Well, he plays for Borussia Monchengladbach. He's 25. His injury record's okay. He's had one long-term knee injury. The rest have been, a few weeks here and there. Nothing too concerned about. And yeah, he seems, when I watch him, he seems like a Yaya Toure style player. He's big, he's strong, he's physical, he's fast. He can dribble in tight areas. He can create as well going forward. So this is what I mean. Fabinho is great as a defensive mid. He can pick the odd pass out, but it doesn't get much more technical than that. You know what I mean? He is just a defensive mid, and I think Zakaria brings obviously youth to the midfield, which we are desperately in need of. And I think over the next few seasons he could potentially replace Fabinho, obviously as Fabinho goes into his 30s. And also, if you want to get more out of the likes of Fabinho and the likes of Henderson, playing a two-man midfield rather than the 4-3-3, saves their legs, helps them out. And if you want more in depth of the formation thing that I've been talking about, just go check the last video that I put out today. But yeah, Liverpool, come on, you've got to be in for him. I know Man United are interested, and to be honest, at that price, I'm sure there's plenty of suitors. I'm pretty sure I've seen a Barcelona link, but obviously with being on Liverpool Twitter, you see obviously Liverpool link with him all over the place. You do a bit of research, Liverpool Zakaria, loads of articles pop up, and I just want to see it done. Now, the reason he's going for so cheap is because he's a free agent in the summer, and Borussia Monchengladbach wants some money for him. And there's a few quotes that I'm just going to pull up here, and basically there's a quote that's saying that the Swiss midfielder has expressed his desire to play for Jurgen Klopp. He's described it as his dream to do so, and it is fair to say, since Wijnaldum left, Liverpool are yet to replace a player like that. You kind of realise that once he went, what you're missing. And in all honesty, I thought Thiago would make Liverpool change into a 4-2-3-1. I thought we'd become less of a pressing team in the middle and be more technically sound. And yet, Zakaria will give us what we miss from Wijnaldum, and he's got a little bit more about him from what I've seen. The first time I'd ever heard of him was a few years ago on FIFA. If you had him in FIFA, you were sound, your team was boss, and that was the last thing. That was the first time I'd ever heard of him. But yeah, even if we could get him for free in 6 months, you can't really take that chance because there's going to be a lot of teams sniffing around him. 7 million is an absolute bargain, and it just adds a better squad depth and quality within. And in the run into the season, that could be the difference of having somebody like that in your team. So it could pay itself off if we push for honours, whether it's Premier League, domestic cups, and it'll be a good sign to see the intentions of FSG and on how successful they want to be this season. Because it's only 7 million, but he is the perfect Liverpool player, and if they back Klopp into signing somebody like that, then to me, you know, they obviously want what Liverpool and the Liverpool fans want. And if we are linked with him or anybody else, and you know, it's publicly known that Klopp hasn't been backed by FSG, I really do question obviously their motives as Liverpool owners going forward. But yeah, 7 million, Denis Zakaria, available right now at 25 years old, got 5 good solid years left in him. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you think signing Denis Zakaria should be on the top of Jurgen Klopp's transfer list. Anyway, if you did like today's LFC video, hit that like button, subscribe for more LFC related content, and until next time, take care, Reds.